Revival. I'm in the building.
Let's
go.
Live with the Woodward.
Let's go.
Let's go. Something about that last one on that intro.
What is it about? I don't know what it is about that intro, but at the end,
is.
everyone just smiles every time. I don't know why.
On our faces, we're ready to go. Lights, camera, action. Shout out Kay Adams. And shout out to you, the Revivalist, man. I'm doing this so backwards, but of course it's your boy, Eli Rax, a.k.a. Vibes. And welcome to New York Revival, where it's not just sports, it's entertainment. And I'm here with my brothers, man. You guys know who they are. And that's Mr. Glass Half Full, and that's Spee if you nasty.
Let's go. Big night tonight, baby. Let's go.
Big night. And I'm here with my brother El Jefe, a.k.a. White Jersey, a.k.a. Blue Jersey, a.k.a. Isn't that Lindorable?
Nice one. Nice one.
Of course, I'm back, baby. And shout out to you. Yes, you, the Revivalists in the chat. Please hit that thumbs up, share, and subscribe. We do appreciate all the support. Guys, we have a special guest in the building. We're going to get right to it. Why the hell not? Special guest in the building, man. We're joined by the guy, the voice around here in New York City. The legend himself, the co-host of Carlin versus Joe, the voice of Rutgers football, the Emmy award winning. You heard it. You heard it. The Emmy award winning. Chris Carlin's in the building. Round of applause. Round of applause.
What up?
Round of applause. Round
What
of
up?
applause. What's
How
going
we
on,
doing?
brother? Thank you so much for being here.
Cheers.
How's everything?
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And I forgot to grab a beer from downstairs. Terrible job by me. Terrible job. Bad job.
Damn it, Chris.
Drinking during the week. That's a problem.
I know.
Listen, we might
We're
have a
bad
problem
influence.
here, Chris. We might have a problem on this show. We drink
I'm
every
with
night.
Chris. I'm taking tonight off too.
Taking the water. Oh God,
Yeah.
what is going on here today? We're bizarro land. But thank you so much for Chris,
You're
man.
so
the host of
disappointed in
ESPN.
me.
Yeah, I'm like, at least you're supposed to have the the liquor here, the whiskey.
Like, I don't even know you anymore.
I'm sorry. I know.
What kind of
You
Irish
deserve
man are
better.
you?
I've got water. That's it. Yep.
But
vodka.
shout out, man. Thank you so much for being here, man. Of course, wow. We got a lot of stuff to get to. A lot of New York sports, they're on fire. And the reason why we made New York Revival, because we felt like, man, New York is about to make this big comeback. And long and behold, here we are. Spee, let's take us through the motions of what's going on here in New York, man. Come on.
Well, I mean, not like Chris doesn't know, but we're a big football show, but baseball is front and center right now. Baseball is front and center. We got Yankees and Mets, both 3 wins or possibly less by the end of the night away from a Subway Series here. Being that I am the resident Met fan, I'd like to start off with some Mets talk with you. I hope that doesn't bother you too much.
No.
But listen, I feel like the Mets are a little bit more, I don't know, the juices are flowing a little bit more. I think maybe it's because they had a harder road. But that's the 7 now going back to New York. It's the other win 3 out of 5. How do you like their chances? Have you been having as much fun watching it as everybody else in New York? And tell us your thoughts here on the Mets.
You know what it is? It's the energy of it that's been awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's so bizarre. You watch the last few years of baseball, and more than ever before, it always ends up being not the best team, but maybe the hottest team. Mm-hmm. And the Mets right now are just that. And the energy that comes with the kind of wins that they're having is just off the charts. And listen, it's not a knock on the Yankees or anything like that. It's just the style in which the Mets are playing right now and in which they're winning has just lent itself to being more energetic and more entertaining. Now, am I going to hate it if we have another Subway Series? I am not. Like, I mean, how old are you guys? What are you guys in your 30s?
Thank God bless your heart.
Yes.
All right, let me put it this way.
Bless your heart.
How well do you remember 2000? How well
very,
do you?
Very.
Yeah,
very.
So all I can tell you is, like, just being around the stadiums, the energy that was around that. It was, even though it was only 5 games, and the Yankees really controlled that series throughout. That was just. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen anything like it around this city. So if you get a chance to see that again and kind of the next generation gets a chance to experience that, I think that'd be pretty awesome.
Agreed.
Even as a
And
Yankee fan, it's so fun watching the Mets. Like, and because Spiro's such a big fan, I've been invested for him for the show. You know, like we cover all New York sports, but the way the Mets got in, the way they like win these heart attack games, like that's fun as hell. Like that's just a great ride to be a part of. So I'm enjoying it even as a Yankee fan.
I mean, and you know what's bizarre to me is that I don't know. 10 years ago, you would never see that. But I have run into more people like you who have been Yankee fans who are like actually rooting for the Mets here a little bit. I'm a little uneasy with that. But I mean, even with it, they can at least have an appreciation for what's going on. You know,
right.
And listen, I don't know if the Mets are going to end up beating the Dodgers or not. The Dodgers are overall, I think, even though the pitching's a little bit suspect with the rotation, I think the Dodgers overall are just a better team, but that doesn't really seem to mean much right now.
Right. Yeah, like you said, it's the hottest team. And it's just, again, the way they're going about like Lindor's homer in a doubleheader, Pete Alonso's homer, Vientos, multiple homers. It's just the clutch home runs, the excitement, it just how many reaction videos, it's just building off each other. And then you juxtapose that to the Yankee run here. Let's talk about the Yankee run, which seems like it's taking care of business every series. It's Royals. It's this Indian series. Seems like they're gonna, breeze through it again. Is this the easiest path in your time covering baseball that you've seen a Yankee team have to go through to get to the World Series at this point?
In theory, yeah. I mean, like in theory, I'm always one of those guys that's like, be careful what you wish for because you never know when you're going to get kicked in the ass. But I still, I mean. I think it was Jeter who said this the other night on Fox that like he never wants to admit that it could be an easy run, but he basically said that if they could pick their opponents, this is how it would be.
Yes,
and so I mean that's Jeter admitting that, and to me that's pretty interesting. But yeah, I mean, listen, there really shouldn't be any excuse for them to not get there again. And you know what? I'm so sick and tired of even though we were just talking about the idea that it's not always the best team, it's the hottest team. I've been so sick and tired for years of watching the whole idea of we're just going to build the best team that we have, and then we're going to let it fly in the postseason and see what happens. Because that's kind of been the Yankee approach. There's not, and I don't want to go back to the George thing, but there was a shift. And Cashman is the one, to his credit, that got that expectation kind of shifted himself with the Steinbrenner family with the way it is. To me, like, I hate that idea of postseason's a crapshoot. We'll just see what happens. Like, you do want it does not feel like there is a level of accountability to not winning a championship, which was always supposed to be what standard, right? Where the bar was set. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I got a question for you, not to get ahead of ourselves here, but should the Yankees and Mets both advance, how could you see that series playing out? I mean, I'm dreaming about it just like for content. I think it would be so great. Selfishly.
The only thing that would kill me about it is right now I'm doing a national show. If I was doing a New York show, I mean, you talk about a freaking layup every day.
Right.
Not even a layup, but just how amazing that would be. Listen, I think that overall the Yankees are the better team, but again, I think it would be a lot more competitive series this year than it was in 2000. Like that to me could be a 6 or 7 game series. If I were betting, I would probably bet the Yankees, but I want to see it. I know, like, it doesn't sound like a cop-out, but or it does sound a little bit like a cop-out, but that's just kind of how I feel about it. Like, I'm really caught up in this whole idea that we've seen with baseball that the best teams don't win. And it's, in some ways it's great, in some ways it's really bothersome.
Right.
I think the country is best served by a Dodgers Yankees World Series, but
right.
Let's
I mean,
serve the
you want
country.
He doesn't care about the rest of the country. It's fine.
Yeah,
We don't
right.
care.
I'm better served by that, but you don't care about me and what I got to do with my show.
You'll figure it out. You'll be fine.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
They
That's why
pay
you're
me
the Emmy
pay us
Award
to
winner.
figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Exactly.
Good problem. Good problem to have.
So listen, the Yankees obviously has been doing extremely well in the playoffs, or very well in the playoffs, without Aaron Judge being Aaron Judge. Do you feel like once he comes alive, this team is like unstoppable all of a sudden?
Yeah, I mean, listen, that's the scary part. If he actually gets this going, it's going to be off the charts. And I have to say,
That's scary.
I mean, it really is. I have to say, I am blown away with the fact that he has been so poor. I really can't get over it because he doesn't strike me as that guy. He has never struck me as that guy. But what I'm actually really happy about, I know what the last couple of seasons have been. I don't know that I have ever seen another athlete handle themselves as well as somebody coming from the outside in as Giancarlo Stanton has this entire time. And to see him heat up in the postseason and get some real love from Yankee fans, and I get it. Listen, I know he hit 190 last year, whatever, you know. I understand that. And I understand where that frustration level has always been with fans. But this is a guy the first few years did deliver, and I like seeing him deliver now because, honestly, think about it. What other guy has come in from the outside and not, at least to the expectations of Yankee fans, and has a massive contract and has all the expectations that come with him, that has never said boo about any of it. Not a word in what 6 years now? That's amazing to me.
Yeah.
Crazy. It's been that long. He's handled like an absolute pro. And yeah, again, Yankee fans came in expecting 50 home run stand that was in Miami. And but listen, all you gotta do is cash in once, as we saw from A-Rod in 2009. Then you live like a god for the rest of your time in New York. So maybe this is it. Maybe this is it. And I think that's been kind of the drag on the Yankees run, is that Aaron Judge has not really gotten going yet. Because if he starts hitting home runs, everybody starts exploding. So we'll see though. Everything's looking good on the baseball front. But what else you want to talk about here? Let's spice it up a little bit.
You know what? Let's say this, man, because I know we have you for a short amount of time, and I just want to thank you so much for doing it.
I got a time, boys. Don't worry about it. Let's go.
Say no more, then. Say no more. Here's a nice game we play with everyone that comes on the show. Just about, we call this shots. Has no meaning to it. Hopefully, it involves us drinking a little bit more, which we should one day. But here we are. We're just gonna ask you quick, rapid fire questions. So him or her, something like type of that. We'll give you a name and you just choose out of the two that's there. So we're going to start with one, man. As the notes are clearing right before my eyes here. All right, well, let's do this, man. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
We already talked about Mets Yankees, so we kind of will skip that question. But being that you're a Jersey guy, I need to know this. Is it pork roll or Taylor ham?
I'm a North Jersey guy. It's Taylor ham. I'm a North Jersey guy.
Boom.
I'm a North Jersey guy
who
right now is living in central to South Jersey. So you can't say that around here, but it's Taylor ham.
No.
It's Taylor ham.
I still do, but they hate me for it.
It's Taylor ham. It's always been Taylor ham.
I must be in the one town where you can still say pork roll. Like I feel like if you're north or south of me,
I mean, listen, I've seen people get kind of a different look at like my local bagel place around here. I live down outside Princeton, and if they say Taylor ham, they're like,
give you the side eye.
Little side eye there. Yeah.
See, that is a Jersey thing. See, I'm not up on this, guys. You guys got to help me out here. I'm a New Yorker type of guy, so
we don't have
Taylor ham or pork roll. I didn't know there was a difference there.
But the thing is that North and South Jersey are so different in the way that they're set up. Like you'd go to parts of South Jersey and you would think that you were like in the middle of nowhere in Ohio and stuff like that. It's crazy. Same thing in parts of North Jersey too. Anyway,
facts.
All right, so I got another one.
Go.
Who has the more punchable face, Nick Sirianni or James Dolan? That's hilarious, by the way.
Oh, God.
Eli's like, who wrote this stuff?
Who wrote this stuff here? We got to fire this guy tomorrow.
It ain't Nick. Let's put it that way.
Wow.
Listen,
That's the curveball. Okay.
I'm not
Yes.
saying that I would want to punch anybody.
Yes, but
Of
just
course,
say
yes.
that.
Let's make that
something
clear.
about your face.
But
Yeah, that wasn't the question. We
I
knew that.
understand what the Dolan thing has just been.
Yes.
God, like I
Jeez.
think about some of the stuff that we dealt with Madison Square Garden, and it's oh God. And this is back in the day from you guys may remember when I was working with Maggie and Bart, and Maggie caught a lot of flack from Dolan about what she said about him, and you know what, like get over it, dude. Like what
Yes.
he does not. I get
Soft.
it. You don't like criticism. I understand that, but you're born into that. You're born into being a billionaire. Maybe you can just deal with a hair of adversity or criticism every once in a while.
Right.
Jeez, please.
Kicking Oakley out of the
I mean,
stadium.
come
Are you
on.
kidding
It's
me?
Charles
Come on.
Oakley, man.
Yeah.
That place
Legend.
loves the guy. We're using
Yeah.
facial recognition at the entry point so that anybody that you don't want in the building, you're not going to let in the building because of personal gripes. I mean,
Soft.
Soft.
it's not soft. It's just it's stupid. It's
Yes.
infantile.
It's like tone deaf, right? Like, grow up, dude. Like,
It's just it's not like just act better, man. Like they're your paying customers. Treat your paying customers with a little more respect. That's all.
I totally
Definitely.
agree, and it's
What
not
you
like it's not like the Knicks were like all the Knicks or the Rangers was doing well at that time, I believe. So
No,
of course you got the booze, everything's got to come with it. You know what I mean? So you got to have thicker skin in that, man. Come on, be a better owner.
He
like
does
you
not
just
have
finally
that.
got it.
Yeah. Right.
Like, come on. All right, we got another one here, man. Wow, this is who wrote this?
I love the
best-
comments here. Like it's always Sirianni. It's always Sirianni.
So
I get it. I get it.
I mean, our
I get what
Giants,
people are thinking. Like
Giants are
that.
our bread and butter. So
Yeah, I mean, I worked in Philly for a year, so I got to say, like, I got a much better appreciation for what those fans are and understanding of what they are. Being a North Jersey guy going in there, like they could have just kicked my ass
It's
right
your
out
life.
of town.
yeah.
But I'll tell you, I think they get a bad rap in a lot of ways. I know that's not what you want to hear. I think that a lot of them do, and I think we all do have to embrace that every one of our sports teams has their moronic fans.
Thank you.
Oh,
Everybody wants to say, hey, the Giants fans are the dumbest. Jets fans are the dumbest. Every fan base has a faction, and now everybody has a voice. That used to happen back in the day. Now everybody's got a voice.
That's very true.
unfortunate.
Yeah, except for the Cowboys. Their fans are all morons.
Yeah,
So.
I like that. There we go. Hold on. We gotta give them the air horns on that one. That is what's up. But yes, man, we're gonna actually ask you one more. Best owner in New York right now, as far as sports, and then I want you to give me your worst as well. So give me your best and your worst.
Best owner in New York right now.
Guessing it's not James Dolan.
Leave that off the list. I mean, I think it's hard to argue against Steve Cohen just because the guy does want to win as badly as everybody else wants him to win. And like, I know people that have been in that suite when things are not going right, and he's not happy. He ain't happy about it. He put it this way: you have to respect that the money goes back into it. He's going to make a fortune anyway. So I almost feel like it's a no-lose situation for him. He's got all of his money from somewhere else as it is. This is just, I want to win, and I'm going to do what I have to do it. I'd probably say Steve Cohen, unless we're going to start getting into like, John Ledecky. But I mean, I can't go there right now.
This is your show. This is your show.
Anyway,
It's your show.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, worst then. Worst. Who's your worst right now?
I'm down on Woody.
Okay.
I really think Woody.
That's a good one.
Just kind of loses his way a little bit. Like I just don't. This whole thing that's happened here over the last couple of weeks. Firing Saleh, I get it, and I know that fans were not broken up by that. I understand why it happened, and you're trying to save the season. But like he makes comments today down at the owners' meetings, like, all right, you're making the trade for Devontae Adams, which to me, this is what they have to do. They have to double and triple down. My partner Joe Fortenbaugh today, I think, put it brilliantly. He's like, it's like when you've lost 4 or 5 hands in a row at the blackjack table and you say, you know what, I'm quadrupling my bet.
Right.
That's exactly what it is. Are you going to win? Maybe, but is it likely? Probably not.
Right.
But the thing that Woody says today is like somebody asked him, is his season salvageable? And he says, salvageable. We're going to kick some, well, you know what? Come on, dude, please.
Oh my
I know.
Please.
God.
I don't know.
To me, with Woody, like the timing of firing Saleh, like I get it, he wasn't a good coach, but there wasn't too far out of the lead as far as number one at that point.
Well, it is bizarre to see your coach get fired and your next game is to play for first place.
Right. I just the timing of it is just like, man, what kind of owner are you? And he didn't tell anyone supposedly. So I don't know. It's just kind of weird.
Woody, I think the biggest thing that Woody has done that's a mistake is not to bring in Aaron Rodgers, but to hand Aaron Rodgers the keys. Mm-hmm. And here you go. You run the show and we'll make this work. And I mean, what else? We're going to be bringing in shamans now and Sherpas. What are we going to have? Like, honestly,
everybody's shipping. Yeah.
He's clearly running the show. The weird thing for me is, what did you learn in 5 weeks of this season that you didn't know already? It's like if you knew you needed a different guy, a better guy, then do that in the offseason while you still can keep everyone else.
I think that's where the real argument is. Like, if you were going to do it in the offseason. Yeah, but he had a hard time doing it because of their defense being so good that they won 7 games without Rodgers last year.
Sure.
So everybody was just thinking this is looking up. But what everybody overlooks is that defense does not always transfer over to the next year. Like a lot of times it does. I don't think this defense is as good as it's made out to be right now. And I think
not the 86 Bears. Which they thought they were 86 Bears. They keep talking about it. No. All right. So real quick. If you had to pick one the rest of your life, pizza or bagels?
Yeah. I mean, you can screw up both. So you're telling me you're telling me that it's from don't throw some garbage like Chicago style pizza at me.
No, we're talking Jersey, New York pizza here.
Okay, all right. You're talking about like if it's my favorite of both?
Your favorite. Yes,
but I'd probably go pizza there. I'd probably
okay, all right.
Yeah, and listen, man. I love bagels, but at my age now, and I'm not that old, but probably has more to do with my weight than anything. But if I have a bagel and like a carbohydrate before noon, I am lights out by 11 a.m. So I'd probably go pizza there. But none of this deep dish crap and all that.
No.
Don't get me on semantics with that. You're going to give me bad pizza.
Let me ask you this, because I think this is pretty awesome, man. I'm going to up the ante a little bit here. $10 million to never watch a sport again. Are you taking it?
That's
10?
a tough one.
10.
This was interesting about 10. I've always my friends and I have always talked about what's your number to just walk away from everything, and 10 was my number.
Wow.
Eli knew it.
I'm not. I don't need 50 million. I don't.
Agreed.
I'll settle for 10.
Right.
What a guy.
Settle.
To never watch another sport again.
Yep.
I probably couldn't do it. But I'll tell you what, there would be a long, hard thought process about it.
Same.
I like that. I like that. 10 is a good number because I had 5, and I think that was an easy one. Not easy. It's like, I'm good. I'm gonna pass on that 5. I can't not go watch sports rest. But 10 is
right.
That's where you start talking about you could set some things up for a long time.
It's almost double 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to say this real quick. Shout out to the 418 people that are watching us today. Thank you so much for your time, man. Without you, there is no us. And of course, we have Chris Carlin in the building here, man. The national ESPN radio, of course, man, and doing some great stuff for us. So thank you so much for your time. But I just want to say a couple more things, man, because I know this. This is a great debate. MJ or LeBron here, Chris?
MJ. And it's not a knock on LeBron. I would say here's always been my thing about this. Okay. LeBron was born and his physical body, the physical attributes he has are just naturally better than Jordan's. Now, Do we respect LeBron enough? I think this is a much closer argument than some people make it out to be. Some older people listen.
That's fair.
All I know about Jordan is that every time I saw him in the finals, I mean, he never even went to a game 7.
Right.
You know, I mean, that's remarkable. Now, I'd also argue, while that is all great, the single greatest achievement I've ever seen in the NBA is to see LeBron carry the Cavaliers with nobody around him to the NBA Finals.
That's true.
That's absolutely amazing. You know, that I think was fantastic.
Yeah, and he did it legit almost by himself. He dragged the team, and that's what's beautiful about NBA. Like, you can have one player. No other sport can you have one player drag a whole team, you know, to their championship and to a win against one of the very best in the sport. In those Warriors, man.
Yeah,
that's something to say.
Chris is right though. Just physically, what LeBron and his health has been so good. You know, over 20 years. He's
6'9", 6'10", 270 pounds, you know.
Could easily
Just
play
jacked,
football.
like absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Jordan was 6'6" and maybe 220. I don't know.
Right.
You know, but yeah, I mean, listen, everybody needs somebody else to go win one, but I think that's I mean, going to 10, it's 10 finals now or 11. I can't even keep track.
We lost count. Yeah.
That's absurd. That's absurd
Right.
what he's done.
Half of his.
But I don't count by the way, I don't count the bubble championships. That's the summer camp.
No. Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
The summer camp, nice.
Yeah, I agree. And we're gonna do one last one here: Billy Joe or Bruce Springsteen.
I'm Bruce. I mean, and I love them both. I'm a Bruce guy. Although I will say this, like I don't mean to name drop here, but it's funny.
Love it.
Do it.
So over the years, I have spent plenty of money on Bruce concerts. Okay. I put Bruce's kid through college. That's probably been.
He needed the help, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly. I probably have been to see him 25 times. And so this last time around, I just was kind of like, all right, you know what? I've given you enough of my money. I love you.
Exactly.
You know, and I tweeted that. And within seconds, again, Jersey guy, at least when he worked here, I got a text from Woj and Adrian Wojnarowski, and he's like, "What the hell are you talking about?" He was so mad at me that I would dare besmirch the name of Bruce.
Don't you dare!
Yeah, no. He was, and I don't know if you guys saw it. Like a couple of months ago, took all the ESPN insiders, Schefter and Jeff Passan and those guys to a Bruce concert in Pittsburgh. It was pretty.
It's dope.
Very nice,
man.
Yeah.
Listen, if they're looking for some more people to add on to the roster, we are available. But listen, that's another story. That's another story.
I'm trying to make sure I'm still on the roster. Okay?
Yeah, fair.
Fair enough.
I'm sitting here. I do the show from my house in Jersey, and everybody's up in Bristol. It's isolating. Like, do I still have a job today? Because I've been through that. So
yeah.
We understand. We get it. And just really quick, man, we're gonna of course go through the super chat.
Holy shit, a super chat.
Yes, we got super chats in the building here. Hef, take it away.
We got very Gooster. Gooster's been all over our shows lately,
Yes.
so shout out to the Goose. Let's go,
Big
Yankees. And New York Giants, man. Crucial game for the Giants. We're getting to the Giants talk next, but thank you, Goose. And our former fan of the month, Bill the Bar Hartnett, for how high he set the bar, being a fan of the month. Most punchable face, Michael Lombardi, hands down.
Really? Okay.
It's something about what the things he comes up with, and like how he tries to relate it to
Not just his face, obviously.
I know. See, but now we're getting into two different conversations there.
Yes, we are.
Most punchable face versus most maddening stupid.
Right. You're right.
Yeah.
Like I can give you 4 guys on that who may not have to be punchable faces, but maybe like, oh God, come on.
Just punchable.
You know who I would put on this list is Nick Wright, probably.
Nick Wright would definitely be on that list for a while.
I love Nick Wright. I'm sorry. I'm a Nick Wright guy. I really like him a lot. I think here's what I think about Nick. He leans into it so much to piss people off. It's amazing. And I think Nick's great. I think
and he sleeps very well too. Like I like him.
I
like him.
Yeah, there's probably a shade of brilliance there. The way
Nick is incredibly comfortable with what he's doing. and I give him. I wish that like there are times where I want to push it more. Nick never has that problem. He has no like, and I kind of hold myself back. Nick's like, nope, we're going, and that's why he's had the success he's had.
You know what's funny is the way he commands the room. You know, like he'll have a whole desk like just waiting on his every word.
Yeah,
he'll be no, just some.
And I got to tell you, like I don't know him at all, but I have friends who have worked with him and swear by him as a great guy. Love him as a guy. You know.
Hey, he's
all right.
The right
I picked
buttons.
a bad one. I get it.
He's good. I like him, man. Shout out to him.
But that's the point. He's supposed to piss you off.
Yes.
He's doing his job.
That's kind of
really
that's kind of the gig. Yeah.
He's ballsy, man. He just says what's on his mind. I respect it. Not too many people can do that. But here we are. We're here at the Giants. Oh my God, we got to talk about the Giants here, Chris. And I'm sorry we have to put you through this, but can we bow our heads right now to say a quick prayer? Here we are, and of course we're going to talk about the elephant in the room because that seems to be the topic of all Giants fans' conversation here. Give us your thought on Daniel Jones, and was Daniel Jones drafted too high at this point? In your opinion, year 6, man. Give us all.
All right. First of all, when you said elephant in the room, I just assumed it was a fat joke. I would say, no, of course he was. I remember being with Maggie. We were at like a Giants draft party event at the time when they took him, and we both were like, "What are you doing?" Like, it was so dumb. The kid from Jacksonville, Josh Hines Allen, or now then Josh Allen. Like, I really wanted them to take him as a pass rusher. Yeah, I didn't think that Daniel Jones was it. So yeah, they gave him a contract that they could get out of after this year, and I'm expecting that they will. There's no reason. Like, here's the one thing that drives me mad sometimes about certain players who have played enough in college that you should know that. Like, when you get them into the league, you got to say, well, we got to find out about this guy. If you're still saying that in year 3 of them playing, you have your answer. You're just ignoring it.
Thank you.
And at the same time, I hate playing quarterbacks too early. Hate it.
Yeah, fair
because
enough.
I feel like the guys who shouldn't be playing. I hosted the draft this year for ESPN Radio. Getting ready, I had at least 4 or 5 guys around college football who had faced Jaden Daniels, who said he's better. He's better than the other guy. And one guy who was on the Alabama staff said, we don't knock him out of the game. We lose that game last year easily. So anyway, point being, yes, I absolutely think that, well, I mean, what is there to think? Daniel Jones is just not that great. Let's
get your answer here. Okay, so how much longer is his leash at this point? Does he have another
leashes in terms of what? First of all,
this season, this season starting.
For the season, I just say, like, where do you think they're going this year? Their defense is pretty good.
Yeah.
I will give them credit for that. They are better than I thought they were, but I don't think they're going anywhere.
Right.
So, what does it matter at this point if you're playing him or, you know,
the injury clause is my first thought of why it mattered.
Yeah, no, I could see that at some point kicking in. You know, all right, we're going to do that, and I would expect that to happen at some point.
And we just lost our left tackle, so it just becomes more of a reality and a likely.
Yeah, I mean,
it's rough.
In terms of that. That's going to be the determining factor about when they decide to sell him. And really, it's about when they can sell sitting him down to the fan base. And I don't think it will be that hard to sell that fan base.
That's
it's just
not right now.
But you know, if you're playing Drew Lock or somebody or whoever else, like, what can you do that's going to throw them off? Like, how long are they going to play before people are going to say, well, we may as well play Jones again? So like, I think that's probably around the 4 to 5 games left of the season feel. Anyway.
And it's funny because I was actually going to ask that. As far as the quarterback room for the Giants, Drew Lock, Tommy DeVito, and Daniel Jones, who is the better quarterback and give that a best chance of winning, in your opinion, at this point?
But still, it's still Jones. He's still better than the other two. And I know people love Tommy DeVito. He's a nice story. Tommy DeVito was not a great college quarterback. He's played well in his spurts, but I don't think he gives them the best chance to win. And but that's the thing. Like, your choices are not great, but it's still Jones. It's still Jones.
I think this weekend's game is going to be very telling because it's either, you beat Philly at home. The Giants are 0-3 at home right now. If you lose to Philly, you're 2-5. Season is over for all intents and purposes. 2-5. You're now 0-4 at home. A loss to Philly. Saquon's probably going to score a couple touchdowns. Like, it's going to be embarrassing for the franchise. I'm wondering if that's enough to put them over the edge where we could easily sell it to the fan base right now. I mean, this is kind of. I mean, we were at week 1. People filing out in the third quarter. Like, it was bad. Fans are. I mean, I don't think there's that many fans who are going to be so upset that you're benching a guy that you just keep losing with at this point.
No, I think you're probably right, and everybody knows that you're going to be looking for another quarterback. So if that's the case, what are you going to be doing? You're gonna quiet quit, as they say, or tank it a little bit more here to put yourself in a better spot. And you can say things, well, we have to give Drew a chance, and well, we got to make sure that we know what we have with Tommy. But yeah, that's it.
Right.
And also, I just want. I'm sorry, Speed. Also, want to ask this too, Chris, man, because let's put yourself in the owner's shoes. You're John Mara at this point. Coach Dayball, what job is he doing? And also Joe Shane as well. I'll throw him in there. As an owner, you're looking at those two. Are you happy with their performance at this point? How they're taking your franchise?
So I was having this discussion with a coach last week. John Mara does not want to be this guy. Yeah. If you look at from Parcells until through Coughlin, right? Over that 30-year span, the Giants had 5 coaches. And since Tom's gone, they've had 5 coaches. Like, that's all. That's just amazing to me. I'm including interims there, which is probably not fair, but you get the point. Yeah. I don't think John wants to fire Daboll after this year. I don't think he wants to. I think you can't put it on Daboll that Daniel Jones could not have been developed. I mean, he didn't pick him. Joe Shane didn't pick him. You can't put it on those guys. So I just think from a consistency standpoint, you'd like to do that. But if you do that, think about this. Like, John has said how many times that we have done everything we can to ruin this guy. Mm-hmm. So if you're going to keep Daboll and you're going to keep Joe, that means to me that you're keeping him for at least 2 more years, because you don't want to fire the coach after a year that the rookie quarterback is there, and then he's got another coach, and then he's got another staff and another offense to learn. Like, you do not want to do that. So you have to decide on where the consistency is going to be. Are you not happy with everything that's going on? And so you're going to make the change now on both of them? Because, like, if you're making that change, it has to happen at the end of this year. But I really don't think that John wants to be that guy. When I had this discussion with this coach about that fact, all those other coaches, you knew within 2 to 3 years that they were the guy, and the ones that they were successful with. But John doesn't want to go through these guys every 3 years. He doesn't want to be that organization, because as an old school guy, he looks at that, and that organization is a failing organization when they're always going through that. So,
I'm with you on
nailed it.
I'm still a Daboll guy. I like him. I think the success they had in 2022 was so much in part of what he was able to coach these guys up to, and just what he can do offensively. I like him. I like him as a coach. I like how he carries himself, the fiery stuff. I like it all. He's not perfect. He's had some like smash your face into a table type moves, like not having a kicker and losing a game to Washington because you don't have a kicker. Stuff like that will drive you crazy. But I still think if this offense is being held back by a quarterback who's 20% on deep passes, and you can't.
All right. Well, I mean, but not to cut you off, but just to your point, the best that they got out of Jones was 15 touchdowns and 5 picks.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That is
crazy.
Daniel, don't screw it up. That is all that is. If that's where your ceiling is, all right, you've already hit your ceiling.
That's what it feels like. They just Short passes, don't press the field, don't turn the ball over, give our defense a chance to keep us in it and pray for, pray.
So after this, I just want to go back a little bit, Chris. One more last thing, and then of course, we'll get you out of here. And then thank you so much for your time. Daniel Jones obviously could be his last year here. What do you think the Giants are gonna go as far as a quarterback if they do decide to move off for Jones after this year because the contract kind of allows them at this point?
We have Mel Kiper on we have Mel Kiper on the show every Thursday, and his quarterback list has I would say at the top so far through the college football season has been somewhat fluid. And the guys that you'll hear about are Shador Sanders, and Carson Beck has clearly not done things to really help himself out this year. Right. Jalen Milroe, he is very high on. It's hard for me to say right now who it is. It's hard for me to say. I think there's probably going to be 3 to 4 first-round guys, and I'm just always at the fact that you better be convinced. They were clearly convinced. If we watched Hard Knocks, they were clearly convinced about Jaden Daniels, and Washington wisely did not trade out of that pick. And Chicago, same thing. So you better feel as good about whoever that's going to be, and don't just take the guy that didn't get taken, because you have to take somebody. That's
how we got Daniel Jones.
This is like, what's so amazing to me is that, I talked earlier about the idea of not playing guys too early. Remember when, and it wasn't Stafford, it was Sam Bradford was the last guy who got like $50 million up front. So you would had no choice with those guys over the years, but to play them or wait 3 and 4 years. Now it's, you're the guy in 2 years or I'm not paying you.
Right.
So
it
ruins careers. And now the hit rate on quarterbacks is like in the 30 to 35% rate in that first round since. So it's very difficult to do. It's very difficult to know whether or not you have the right guy.
Yeah.
I think the Giants were put in a really tough spot because it's kind of just our luck, right? Like Daniel Jones finally drags this team to the playoffs, looks phenomenal, best career game in Minnesota to win a playoff game. So it's like, how do you just walk away scot-free from him? I get that. And if you franchise tagged him, you were left with almost no space to do anything else. So it's a really tough spot. But what do you think about, and I understand they didn't draft him, but don't you think in a way they made their bet a little bit by giving him that contract and signing up for a couple more years?
Yeah, I just don't think they had a chance. They had a choice. To your point, everything you're talking about, but they did give him a deal that would give them flexibility after this year. So at least, listen, you could be in the Deshaun Watson situation right now. You could be in the Tua situation right now. I mean, they literally just gave him the extension. The extension doesn't even kick in until next year for Tua or the year after, whatever it is. And there's 200 to 240 million that's headed his way. And you don't know how long he could play. Like, you can be in worse situations. Yeah, they made their bet a little bit, but I honestly don't think at the time they really had much of a choice. Like, we all scream and yell about him making 40 a year. Like, we have to forget about the number, so to speak, in that moment, because he's not a $40 million a year quarterback, of course, but that's what the market said at the time.
Yeah, absolutely. And before we let you go, I've got to hear about this other quarterback in New York, Aaron Rodgers. They made the trade for Devontae Adams. They're going all in. Do they have a chance at making a run here? Will Aaron Rodgers get this turned around? What are your thoughts on the Jets?
Let me just get my notes here from the show today.
That was great. Thank you.
Listen. When you got him, there was no question that you had to go and do it. Okay. I didn't love the sideshow that comes with him. And I didn't love it even more when he got hurt, and there's still more sideshow that's coming with the whole thing. I'm going to be vice president. I'm going to go do this. I don't know if I'm going to play. You went to all the OTAs. All right, great. Blew off mini camp. Like, you can't figure that out. He tried to get mini camp moved to fit his schedule. Like, Okay, but Woody has empowered him as such. This is the owner. I remember being at a dinner table a few years ago, and my wife, this other person at the table, was somebody that it was very quick to get him to go to an argument, to go from 0 to 7 on something that was very, just polarizing quickly. And I was trying to avoid that all night. And my wife had just asked a question that was so innocuous, but it just set him off like that. And I was so mad at her. And afterwards, she's like, "Why are you so mad at me?" Because you don't blame the infant who drives the car into traffic. You blame the person that gave him the keys. My wife is, I paid for that, by the way. With Rodgers, it's all right. We've done everything you wanted. Now that we've gone and gotten Devontae Adams, I just hate the fact that he's sitting there last night pointing the finger around at everybody else. Let's call it what it is. He is not. He is not. I didn't expect him to be the MVP. He is very up and down. He was decent last night, but he wasn't amazing. I just
he hasn't been Aaron Rodgers.
Okay, let's put it another way. And this was something to give you an idea of what you would have expected. We know that Aaron Rodgers is not Tom Brady in a lot of ways, but the Jets wanted him to change the culture, which I hate that goddamn word, culture. Okay. If you talk about culture, you don't have it. In any business. I've been in places where I've worked, and not ESPN, mind you. I've been in other places where I've worked where they have talked so much about culture at every meeting. I love our culture. The people who really love their culture and know they have it don't have to talk about it.
Preach.
So Rodgers was brought in to change the culture. Brady, when he went to Tampa Bay, think about this for a second. Aside from all the titles and all that stuff, what's the number one thing that you can point to statistically that would suggest a change in culture? Penalties. Penalties. In 2019, the Bucks had 133 penalties to lead the league. Brady comes in, the next year they had 84. Like they cut it by more, they cut it by 50. You know, they didn't lead the league, but there was a lot more emphasis on all that stuff. Where are the Jets right now? I know the officiating was sketchy last night, but they are nowhere near that. They're near the bottom of the league. So I would point to all of that and just say, I don't think he's a great leader. I don't. Some guys are great leaders, but they lead you in the wrong direction.
Right.
I don't even know if this guy's a great leader. And I wonder how this is all going to play out, because I don't think it's going to play out well.
I agree. Let me just say one last shots question. WFAN or ESPN?
Ooh,
Oh,
well,
ESPN.
Come on.
Listen,
He's paying the bill. Who's paying the bills here?
Hey, but it's not even just that. Okay. It's not a knock on the fan. I grew up there. I grew up listening to it. I produced Mike and Chris for several years. When I came back there in at the end of 2017, it felt like a homecoming, and it was amazing. But no, I'm good. ESPN has been really, really good to me, and you can walk around that place. You can be up there in Bristol, and it'll blow you away who you just see in any moment. And not a lot of divas around that place either. I'll tell you that too.
Like
not that there isn't fan, but there has been in the past. But
right.
I love those guys. The fan, they're still friends and such. But ESPN's been phenomenal for me. Yeah.
Best Mike and Chris moment that you could recall off the top of your head.
I mean, I told the one story so many times about the horse whisperer, but I just think it speaks to the essence of what they were. People never understood that none of it was an act. This is just who they are. They're insane. So 2000, we're going to the playoffs. It's Knicks Pacers, and it's like games 1 and 2 in Indianapolis. And so we get there, and Chris's room is ready at the hotel, but Mike's is not before the show. So they're hanging out in Chris's room while I'm going downstairs as a producer, and you got to do all that kind of stuff, make sure everybody's squared away. So I go upstairs and I come back into the room, and they are sitting on a couch watching the movie The Horse Whisperer on TV. And so it's Robert Redford and Kristen Scott Thomas. And I just start to say, hey, Mike, listen, room's not ready yet. Should be ready. Shh. Like they shushed me. It's the middle of a dramatic scene where Redford is breaking up with Kristen Scott Thomas. End of the scene. Like a second later, Dog turns to Mike. Mike, that woman is lost. I mean, he has got to break up with her. That is absolutely, I mean, he's got to get as far away from her right now as he can. That is a disaster. Mike, absolutely right move. I mean, it was like they were talking Knicks Pacers, but they were talking about this. Like, this is the essence of what they were and how amazing they were together. Awesome. You know, I'll be forever indebted to them both for the opportunities that I got out of that.
That's awesome. That's a really funny story, and like on a much lesser scale. Like anytime we hang out, whether it's the pre-show or at a bar, like we get right into show mode, and we take turns, we battle, we go, you know, we laugh, and it's our show. Yeah, and when it comes easy like that, it's good.
But like for people who don't realize this, like about Chris, like he loves to torture people. He loves if you're his friend, he loves to torture you. He would call me at 6 a.m. I'm a Texas Rangers fan, as odd as that is. He would call me at 6 a.m. if the Giants won the night before and the Rangers lost on a Saturday. And I would just let the machine pick up. This is like 2000. And you would just hear, good morning. Good morning. Did we stay up late? Did we see the scoreboard? What happened to Texas?
Oh, God.
It's like the worst alarm clock ever.
Yeah. He's a great troll.
But he's the best. I love him to death. You know, I was on First Take with him earlier this year, and he's the freaking best.
That's awesome, man. Thank you so much for your time. Chris Carlin, please let them know where they can find you, brother.
Listen, every day on Sirius XM channel 80 for ESPN Radio, on 1050 in New York, 12 to 3, me and Joe Fortenbaugh, Carlin versus Joe. We have a blast. And my whole mentality has always been, if you let me be an idiot, we're going to be fine. And that's what we're doing. So we're all good, but it's a blast. We're doing that. And, you know, on Twitter at Chris Carlin, and on Instagram at that guy Carlin. So anyway, guys, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Great to meet you.
Real quick, must win for Rutgers this weekend, right?
I mean, listen, I think every game right now is a must win, and not just because they've lost these couple. I think it's week to week. It's a very difficult thing. But when I say must win, like, all right, they're coming in and they've been struggling, but at the same time, they've got a lot of talent on that team. And you're going to USC next. It's a big team.
That's the big one.
It's every week, you know. Yeah. It's every week. So. Anyway, thanks, guys.
The best.
Cheers, Chris. Thanks so much.
We'll see you, brother. Thank you.
You're the best.
That was awesome, man. Chris Carlin. That was awesome. That guy's great, man. A legend. You want to talk about a legend in the building here. So that was awesome, man. Thank you so much. Hefe, can we get a little bit of that music, brother?
Yes, sir. I love that. I love that story of them watching the movie.
I can see it, right? Anybody's ever heard of it? 100%. Anybody that's ever heard of them, like you could just see it, and like you said, that's feels like us. Like we take whatever we do it, we would be having the same conversations at the bar, and that's like you said, that's how you know there's the real. Like
only if
the sauce is good.
Exactly. Like only if people actually hung out. Like a couple people actually hung out with us, but if they were to come out and hang out with us at the bar, they will understand exactly how we are in front of this damn camera. It's exactly how we are when we get up with each other. We'd be like, "How's the family? Fuck them." Yeah. So the Giants.
That's not why I'm here, Eli. And if you
that's not why we're here. Fuck them. So let's get a bucket of beer. Let's drink and talk about sports all day. This is exactly what we do, and we love, brothers to the end, man. And it's our escape, man. So we actually have the show. We have the fucking show. It's hilarious.
I want to talk to you real quick. We glossed over Giants talk, but let's get real back at it real quick. The rumors, the fun rumors today.
Oh yeah.
Let's talk about Matt Stafford. Let's talk about Matt Stafford.
We have to.
Well, And in a larger conversation about I know it's maybe bullshit, but larger conversation here. We glossed over it. What do the Giants do going forward here? You say you bench Daniel Jones, you can't go back to Daniel Jones, right? So that's done. If we bench Daniel Jones, it's over. And we're moving on. This year's draft class, like Chris said, it's shaping. It's shaping, but I don't know where we're going to be. I don't know how good these prospects are going to be. I don't know if we're going to like them. 2026 draft class, looking pretty.
Pretty what? Oh no! Pretty what?
Come on, Speed.
Shit.
Come on, Speed.
All right. What?
Sorry, am I glitched?
Why would he say?
You look great.
I love when someone gets frozen. It's some of my favorite.
He said, "Pretty what?"
It's
that was Lindorable. That was Lindorable.
The best. Sorry, I fucked up. So hey, listen. Is it stop? Would you really entertain Stafford being here next year?
Right.
Is a Super Bowl and bust at that point?
Let's get to this because we had this conversation earlier in the chat, and I was like, just stop, okay? Let me tell you why that could be a good idea. All right, and you can refute it. It's fine.
Will do.
The Giants here, at this point of Daniel Jones's career, let's just go to the end of the year. They don't take Daniel Jones back, and Matthew Stafford is on the table.
They went 6
Why
years.
not? Why not bring him in? At that point, it could be your bridge guy. We could lose a bunch of games to get the quarterback of the future, or we could put more pieces around Matthew Stafford. He already has a number one receiver. The line could get better. I do understand Andrew Thomas is going to come back. He's going to be healthy. The injury is not, career ending or anything like that. So Andrew Thomas will come back, right? You still could bolster the offensive line and use those picks now to get in better pieces to protect Matthew Stafford, right? And not only that, you can still build the defense up with via free agency or draft. This team has the bones, in the word of Colin Coward. I said coward. Did I say that?
That coward.
But in the words, this team has the potential to make a magical run with the quarterback such as Matthew Stafford. Slayton might not be here, even though he's the go-to guy. Well, we could get another wide receiver, or maybe we can actually have Jalen Hyatt learn a freaking route tree and actually get the ball as well. Or maybe at this point, Matthew Stafford can actually throw it to him at this point. This isn't a bad idea if that was to come to fruition. If you use your first round pick to bring in a freaking Matthew Stafford, that could have been your quarterback anyway. I do understand we need a quarterback of the future. I get it. You want somebody on a rookie year. Matt Stafford's going to cost so much money. But this guy is a Super Bowl champion as well. And you can play to about 44, 45. I mean, if you're Tom Brady, right? But the longevity of quarterbacks is pretty long. You can play till 45 in some cases, right? 41, 42, 43. We have the bones to be successful here. You get a quarterback such as Matthew Stafford, the Giants can go to a Super Bowl. The Giants can continuously make the playoffs while he's here. You have a better guy back there. I'm just saying, Speed.
Okay. Jeff, what are your thoughts on say the trade is a first round pick and a second round pick the following year. 2025 first, which if you win 6 games, you're talking like a top 15 pick.
Yep.
For Matt Stafford.
Like football wise, I'd love to have him as the quarterback. I think he's still got probably 3 good years left. He's 36 now. He'll be 37 when the season starts next year. I still think he's got a couple of years left, but I don't think he would want to do this at all. I mean, he's got Cooper Kupp. He's got Puka Nacua. He's got one of the best young coaches in the league. He's got a head coach that's 38 years old, and he's top 4 or 5 off. I mean, easily top tier offensive minds in the league. He's already in the spot he wants to be. He's in LA. I think his wife likes being in LA. She's involved in that. So he doesn't want to come be a project or a bridge. I think he's probably where he wants to be. So from a football standpoint, instant upgrade. He would make every receiver better around him. You would gladly give up the rushing upside of Daniel Jones or a more athletic quarterback for what Matthew Stafford can do. But in terms of the reality, I just don't see it happening at all. He wants to make money still, and he's not a bridge. He's a go for the Super Bowl kind of quarterback.
Jeff, I want to ask you this: what if the Stafford trade was made? What would you say the Giants' ceiling would be? Say you get another lineman, you got Tracy rolling, Neighbors rolling. You know, maybe you bulk up somewhere else on the defense. This team looks pretty good. What's the ceiling if Stafford comes here at age 36, 7?
I think I mean I said it today that the Giants are a quarterback away, and I think they'd be a 10-11 win team as it stands. Then, I think
number one in the NFC East, may I add.
So I guess you're saying
like
we're taking a chance at that point, right?
We're competing. I think now you could say there are pieces in place, and right, if you're looking at next year as the soonest this would happen, realistically, or if ever, then you still have another drafted free agency to get even better again. Mm-hmm. So this team, I think, is nice and hopefully becomes somewhere where a quarterback wants to come. But you would be paying similar range as Jones probably.
Yeah,
I would imagine.
I'm not crying over
26. It's 26. Yeah, so I'll give you the salary numbers right now. It's 27 next year. Well, the cap hit's 53. It's absurd. And then, but there's an out after next year, which makes it even more intriguing because you can go into 2025, see what he's got left, and if he takes you to the playoffs, wins you a playoff game, you're like, all right, we still build on this, and we might have a little window here for a couple of years. You hopefully draft your next guy very soon in the second round, third round, whatever it is. But what you mapped out, Jeff, is that he could win 11 games. Theoretically, the Eagles. I don't know where the Eagles are going to be next year. I don't know where the Cowboys are going to be next year. You might have a window.
I know.
You might have a window. So
just saying,
it's not too crazy of a thought.
Did we miss the boat on when the Bucks took a shot on Baker Mayfield for a QB competition and paid him $5 million to win the job like in a week, and then lead them to the playoffs, and now he's got them right back in playoff contention, looking great. What's his name with the Vikings? He was talking about
Sam Darnold.
Did we miss the boat on that kind of guy? Where you can get him so cheap, where there's a ton of upside and you can win with them. I mean, those teams are getting such better quarterback play in terms of production that you just hope that there's another deal like that, because then you can draft your guy and let this bridge be somebody that you can compete with, a veteran who's seen some things.
Let's say something here, and this is an interesting conversation. Sam Darnold's a free agent next year. The Vikings just drafted J.J. McCarthy. What do the Vikings do? And if Sam Darnold's a free agent quarterback, are you taking Sam Darnold at $15 million next year?
Spee, if you don't mind, jump out and come right back. Your videos, all sorts of goofy.
All jacked up.
If you can hear me.
Sam Darnold, did you hear Sam Darnold?
I did.
Answer, and I'll get back.
Yep.
Okay.
That's interesting. I think yesterday's price ain't today's price. Like, he's going to leverage his success of this year. He's 5-0 right now at the bye.
And not only that, not only that too. This guy, he's going to come in for the Giants, and he knows they're desperate. He's going to ask for top dollar. He used to come in here and freaking play. It's the matter of, okay, how many years and etc. So I say you kick the tires, but the Brinks truck up to Sam Darnold, I think it'd be kind of crazy. I wouldn't do it.
So basically said, like, his success this year, he's obviously going to leverage into. He's playing for his career. He wants that next big deal.
Oh yeah.
And you could see maybe someone. He was already in Carolina, which is kind of funny. But like a shit team that needs
Jets. Probably wouldn't. Could use
oh my
Sam
god,
Darnold
that's kind of funny. That's kind of funny.
Hilarious.
But yeah, he's still young, and I mean, you could easily say his best football is still ahead of him.
I'll read you the class because it's not. It's Sam Darnold, Joe Flacco, Jameis Winston. There's the free agent class is dog shit. Let's just
I respect. I think you have to draft
it
somewhere.
So I'll tell you about the draft right now. Right now, it's like I said, it's formulating. There might be 3-ish. Cam Ward, Shador right now. And
Milroe.
And Milroe are like the the high end names.
Those
but
are
that's
first
about
round
it.
picks. Those are first
Yeah.
round picks right there.
And then, but it's deeper because you got Carson Beck, who was considered potentially the QB1, has now fallen to like QB 4 or 5 range. If you can get him in the second round, maybe it's worth a shot. There's a couple of guys, Nussmeier from LSU, worth a shot. Maybe the second round. Dart from Ole Miss, maybe second round. So there's guys that could be their second, third round that you could maybe, if Dable likes them, and I trust Dable, I would take a chance on them and develop these guys. So or do you wait? And then you sign a. I don't know who the fuck is there to sign. That's nobody.
What's frustrating is, they brought Jones back, and I get it. You went to the playoffs with him, but on some level, whether it was the injuries or whatever else, you could have been drafting and developing behind him.
You should always draft a quarterback.
Right.
Just always draft a quarterback.
We still have, like, the 49ers didn't draft Brock Purdy last pick as a potential starter. It was a dart throw, and he wound up developing. You got to take a shot, especially with a quarterback room like the Giants. Tyrod moves on, and somebody said, I wish Tyrod was still here. I think it was Goose. And I get that. Couldn't rely on his health, but he also, I think, got his salary doubled to go to the Jets, who were not going to let another season go down the wayside. Tyrod Taylor is the best backup quarterback in the league. And it's a shame that he can't stay healthy because talent-wise, I think he's a starter.
I think he's a good quarterback, yeah.
Or he was. He's now older, too.
I agree.
Hey, the special shout-out, while it was all a lot bad, let's talk about the good that came from that game. Defense, fantastic. Azeez Ojulari, big shout. Azeez is doing things that we wish fucking Kayvon Thibodeau was doing.
Yeah.
That's another sack.
Hold on now.
Whoa.
I'm gonna shoot KT some bail here. Yes, we want him to do all the things that KT was doing, but let's be honest here. The Bengals' offensive line hasn't been the greatest this year, so I think KT would have 8 as well. To be honest with you, if not, maybe
this is a big game. This Eagles game is now a big game. Mailata is out. Burns had a big game. The Burns had a Burns game. Everybody was like, "Oh, Burns doing this." He showed the fuck up.
He was wrecking. He
was wrecking.
He did it twice in a week, right?
Yeah. He's
second
been
week in a
fire.
row. Yeah.
Yep.
I believe him. Let's see if Azeez do it again. Then I'll be like, I believe.
I believe.
I believe in this team. I don't believe.
You believe in Tyrone Tracy?
I believe in Tyrone Tracy. I do, and I know he had I think he only had 50 yards, 17 carries, right? But I do understand. He had some catches as well, but a lot of people will look at those numbers and be like, "Oh man, he didn't really do great." I do understand the Bengals was 31 as far as run defense in the league; that they're second to last, but they also got BJ Hill back, I believe, and they got a couple more pieces back. That guy was old Giants, by the way.
Drafted by the Giants. His name was called on every possession. It seemed like he was
too much.
But they got guys like that can shut down the run. He was injured for the first few games, right? So they got him back, and of course they shut down Tyrone Tracy, but he was still able to get his. I still believe in Tyrone Tracy. I still think we have an RB1 there. I believe in him. I just don't believe in anything else the Giants are selling me here.
Let me ask you guys real quick. Singletary comes back. First possession. Who's the running back on the field for you?
We got to go with Tracy, man. I'm sorry. And
the reason we want to go with Tracy, but who does Dable trust more?
It would be such a Giants move, right? To just go back to Singletary and pretend like Tracy didn't just look phenomenal.
What's going to happen in my heart of hearts, what I believe it will happen is that it's going to be like, I hope it's like 60-40 Tracy, but I feel like it's going to be 60-40 Singletary. He's going to get but Tracy's done too much to go back from now. You can't go backwards from here.
He's a weapon, dude. He's dangerous, man. He's different.
Yeah.
He moves different. Singletary.
That's your RB1 in the future.
Singletary is a professional running back, and I'm not sure of that contract off the top of my head. But you can look at this running back room now and say, well, you had Tyrone Tracy. But granted, you signed Singletary first, right? That's before the draft.
Right.
I just want to say this, by the way, and forgive me, guys. And I was just trying to look up some stats. But as far as attempts, 56 Singletary, yards 221, average 3.9 yards per carry. Okay. and I just want to give you Tyrone Tracy because I just figured, why the hell not? Just compare them, right? Tyrone Tracy, 47 attempts, 208 yards, 4.4 yards per carry.
Yeah.
You gotta go with the guy that's giving you more yardage, right? Am I right or am I bugging?
Yeah. The problem is Singletary's around for 3 years. They have an out after next year, but he's definitely here next year. So it's going to be running back by committee, man.
Listen, it's not the worst thing if you use it right, because Singletary is still a professional running back.
Agreed.
So you keep these guys fresher by using them both. But if you use the eye test, right, and the yards per carry is there too, but the eye test says this guy gets the extra yard or two when he has to. He knows where the first down marker is, and he's shiftier. He's a more dangerous weapon. So like just using the eye test, he's the better player. But I think most teams should have a committee at this point.
And Obscene is not wrong here. Like our best running back duo in recent memory, that's where the best running game was Jacobson and Bradshaw. So it could work, it could happen, and it could be used probably because I think Singletary can still gain those tough yards. He could still pass block like a motherfucker. He's a good vet. You have to have those still, and injuries will happen at running back. They always do, so depth at running back ain't the worst thing. So I love Tyrone, man. I think he's the truth. We all believed in him as soon as we were drafted. We were all intrigued by him, and now he's coming to fruition so early, like even earlier than maybe even we expected. So,
well, you know what else? And I think that they may go down this road. I hope they do. You could do some formations where you got both backs on the field. Sure. You put Tracy out on the slot and let him run some routes because the dude was a wide receiver. Like he's not just a running back. And now all of a sudden you're like, well, what the hell are they running out of this formation? Like he's a weapon, and it's exciting. It's one of the bright spots we got going on. And we forget that Malik Neighbors is coming back. Like this dude was fucking dominating.
Forget about that shit, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, but real quick, and to end it on hopefully not, a little bit more of a negative note. I think we kind of figured out why Jalen Hyatt wasn't getting as many. Wasn't getting as many.
Well,
snaps
both of these things we found out. Andrew Thomas was getting burnt like we never seen before, and it's because he's playing on a fucked up foot, and he's now. Is it official out for the season?
Not officially. He's getting a second opinion, but
it's not looking good. It's not.
They're probably going to say, "All right, we're 2-5. If we lose this game, get the surgery. See you next year." Fucking great.
I think it's going to go surgery wise, and then the reason why it's taking so long because they're trying not to. But I think it'll be safe to say he's probably done for the year.
But you got to get it done now because that could linger. Like Liz Frank is not easy either, so get it done now. And it stinks because now everybody. I hate this. I hate that we do this. Everybody's like, "Oh, you know what? Well, he was injury prone. We shouldn't have signed him."
That was the worst shit I saw. That was the worst shit I saw on Twitter.
Let a fucking 25-year-old all-pro walk out the fucking door.
Stupidest take in the world.
Franchise left tackle. I said he wasn't the guy. I said nothing. He's fucking phenomenal. He's just stuck. He's been stuck on a bad line.
How you gonna like that shit? I told you so moment. Like, come on, everybody's gonna cook you. Cook the cooking. That's you cooked, bruh. You cooked. You wasn't doing that. No,
it's a Liz Frank. It wasn't even his ankle. Like if he injured his ankle again, I could be like, that's chronic, whatever. It's a Liz Frank. You can't account for injuries. Injuries are going to happen, or they're not going to happen. You can't just like trade a guy because he's had a couple injuries before. You're all pro cornerstone left tackle, one of the most important positions on the team. You're just going to let him walk, and we would have got fried if he went somewhere else. And it got big contract and stayed healthy.
It's not even a comment. You just don't do it. Like, come on. Unless your name is Eli Manning, you're injury prone. Okay, everyone gets hurt in the NFL. Yes. Everyone.
I agree.
Stop.
And also, let's talk about Jalen Hyatt, man. And I just want to say this, Jalen. I don't know if this is going to reach you, brother. In fact, I hope it does. Okay. That catch during, or that not the catch, that run during the sideline where you thought you got interfered with, you interfered with yourself there, my guy. There was nothing there to call or throw that flag for passing interference. Jalen, I'm not sure what your problem is. I'm not sure what your issue is, brother, for why you're not getting on the field. But you made it clear. You made it very clear last night or the night before. I don't even know when. I don't even know the last time the Giants game was on. I don't even care no more, okay? But you made it very clear. You can only run straight routes. There is no curl. There is no slant. There is nothing from you that I've seen, my brother. In fact, there was college freaking there was coaches that was studying your college tape and they were saying, you know what, this guy's
They're right
overhyped.
right now. They're right
This guy was
now.
overhyped. He can't really run routes. He's not that great. And guess what? We took him and we were like, BS. He looked good last year with my guy. What's his name?
Tyrod Taylor.
He looked good. But you can't even beat out Darius Slayton. And let me give Darius Slayton his flowers because when there's a clutch moment, Darius Slayton is there. He may not catch the ball, but at least he's there to try to catch the freaking ball. A dog. He's running routes. He's running slants. He's running curls. He's running flats. This guy's doing it all. But Jalen Hyatt, you can only run straight ahead, brother. Which is something we don't need right now because our quarterback can't throw.
Right.
That's the problem. Did Daniel Jones kill his confidence? Like what? How did they go? Like because he looked good with Tyrod Taylor. He looked good with DeVito. I think he had a 100-yard game with DeVito, and now he looks like he never played football before. He looks like the Tennessee version of who we drafted. Like only a go route guy, soft. Needs to be, in motion, and get him free coverage because he can't handle contact.
That's one of the stranger storylines going on with the Giants is what Jalen Hyatt has become. And like you brought up Slayton, and I both want to like say that he is clearly a better all-around receiver than Jalen Hyatt. That's obvious now, but he also has a infuriating drop every single game. They're like Jones, we give him crap on the deep balls. There are balls hitting guys in the chest every single fucking week that these guys are dropping. Wandale and Slayton are good for one each every game. I think Slayton's got 7 drops this year.
See, you're not wrong. If you're wrong, it sounds right, and which is the sad part. Like, I don't. It sounds right, and they're some of them are so crucial. Third down drops. Red zone drops, like, and again, we kill Daniel Jones here, but you can't overcome some of that shit. He's not good enough to overcome it.
And then here's the thing, like, drop the pass on 2nd and 2 or something. Like, come on, like, help us out a little bit here. Like, not to say that we're gonna convert the third, but I'm just saying, don't drop it on a 3rd or 4th down. Like, we're gonna cook you for that. It's like, man, like during those big moments, you can't, like, you just gotta calm down. You can't be too big for that. Go out there and just make the play.
And we're right there. We're right. This is the problem. We're right there with the Cincy game, with the Dallas game, with the Commanders game. Every play is crucial. And we just are playing losing football as usual.
You know what? This is how I know Jalen Hyatt hates Daniel Jones. Let me not say hate. Because everybody be like, oh my God, but I'm gonna say it. Fuck it. It's for the show. Jalen Hyatt, this is a new narrative. Hates Daniel Jones. All right. Here's why.
You heard it here first.
You heard it here first. He hates Daniel Jones.
Spread it like wildfire. Spread it.
Jalen Hyatt hates Daniel Jones. You know why? Because when Daniel Jones was out and he finally got a quarterback in there, Tyrod Taylor, who did he post showing appreciation for?
Oh, yeah.
Tyrod freaking Taylor. So when Daniel Jones came back, he was like, well, there goes my deep ball threat. I'll be on the bench. And he's on the bench. He hates Daniel Jones right now, Jalen Hyatt. Hates him with a passion. He's never going to post Daniel Jones appreciation post. Never. Never, ever. You crazy? He misses Tyrod right now. Right now, he wish he was a Jet right now. I'm telling you. Spread that like wildfire.
Every time I see like Daniel Jones like cock back and let one go, I don't expect good things. It's like that's the point where I'm at. I just know that it's going to bounce 4 feet in front of the receiver, or like I don't know, man. It's just infuriating because every week you see these teams connecting on, like, that's how you win games. Explosive plays. Dable could not have been more easy to read. His tone is changing, man. Like, he's saying things in a way that lets you know he knows the plays are there. The quarterback's
what
not
did
making
he say?
them. He said more or less Daniel Jones is trying his absolute best to be as good as he can be.
Yes,
And he's like, we have plays dialed up and we're not converting on the explosive plays. The plays are there. He's saying everything.
The film shows it.
I'll give you the exact word. Doing everything he can to be as good as he could be. Isn't that like a parent just talking about the kid that one of their kids is, that they know is not an athlete, but you don't want to tell them they suck.
It's such a tricky thing for Dable, and that's why I'm not like, you can't just fire Dable because he's being held back. right now. Go Yanks.
Rizzo double, 4-2 Yankees. Let's go. Let's go.
Um,
We're cooking.
But Dable has to somehow keep the locker room together, but also work this offense and get more points going, but also not completely throw your quarterback under the bus because you want to be a coach that players want to play for. He's and he's facing New York media while doing it. Like, this is a ridiculous position that Dable's in. There are huge plays out there every single fucking week. Every week.
Yo, Dayball's press conference, literally, like you said, you can see the anger on his face. Because, like, what do you think of Daniel Jones? Freaking great. Awesome.
He's like, yeah, we're gonna. He just keeps saying, like, we're gonna keep dialing up these fucking.
He's trying his best.
This is what I wanted to happen. In my heart of hearts, I wanted to be exposed to everything. There's things here to make a good team. There's a good defense there. There are some weapons on offense. It's glaring. It's glaring and Daniel Jones is playing his best football that he can play, but I said this before. He's good, but he's not good enough. He's doing good, not good enough for a top 10 quarterback, and that's what we need. We need a top 10 quarterback.
You know what it is? He's not good enough in general. He's just good enough to not suck, right? To more or less operate. The offense, but like
every once in a while.
But in prime time, he's 1-14. In home games, he's now 0-3. He hasn't thrown a touchdown pass in like 1,000 days or something. Like at MetLife, that's I don't care if you're injured. There's no way.
There's only one injury. It's too long. It's too long.
There's just too many opportunities. Like the streak that he finally broke this year, never throwing multiple touchdowns in back-to-back games, and it got up to like 40 something. Like, even if you're a bad quarterback on a bad team, there's too many opportunities for you to not throw 2 touchdowns 2 games in a row. You know what I mean? I mean, we've said it all.
It's staring down.
Let me say this.
Whatever. When will this end? When will this end? Guys, we've been having the same conversation for 6 years.
It feels like it's coming to a close. It does.
Shout out,
really true.
Shout out, very Gooster, right? But he's saying Daniel Jones is no good at night. During prime time, his win
no good at night.
His win-loss record.
Not good at everything at night. Like dancing,
nothing at night.
Football.
Maybe country music. Maybe singing country music on stage. That's the only thing you're fucking good at, Daniel Jones. Or throwing napkins in the air. Who knows? But his win-loss record is 1-14 in prime time. 12 touchdown passes and 19 interceptions on prime time. You want to talk about horrific? This is it right here when it comes to prime time. Daniel Jones can never play at night ever. So here's the thing. Daniel Jones at this point, the fact that you can't play no primetime games, and everybody thinks he's like so clutch, like it's ridiculous. Daniel Jones' truth is starting to come to reality. I'm respecting it.
They're blaming Dable now. They're shifting.
Don't shift. Come to reality.
Don't shift.
The conversations now. They want him to be benched so that Locke could come in and also fail, and it will then somehow make Daniel Jones look better.
No, let them live in their truth. Let them live in their reality. Don't bench Daniel Jones. I don't care about the injury clause. That's John Mara's money, okay? Don't care about it. Let them live in their truth and let him drag his carcass out there. We paid him a shitload of money. Let him drag his carcass out there and let him continue to suck the way he does. But Daniel Jones, at this point, brother, you got paid. I'm sure somebody will probably take you as a backup somewhere once you leave the Giants. Somebody probably will.
Oh, definitely.
Okay? But here's the thing, brother. Go out there, go enjoy the country music festival. Go out there and go talk about Achy Breaky Heart with Billy Ray. Whoever the hell sings it.
Shout out Billy Ray. I think you're right. No. Is it Billy Ray?
Is it Billy Ray? Yeah, I think it's Billy Ray.
If you're right, I'll be impressed.
I think it's Billy Ray. Don't tell my heart.
It is Billy Ray Cyrus. It is. Yes.
Damn, I'm good. I'm good. So, yes, go out there, sing Achy Breaky Heart. All right, brother? Because your time with the Giants is coming to the end here, brother. Go out there. Go out there and be somebody on the country stage.
Get out there and be somebody.
Go out there and be. Because here, your time is up, man. With horrific numbers like that, I just don't see where the support is. Somebody go check on Cop Pizzle because he's sick right now. He's sick.
I got to check back on him.
We got to check on Cop. You're sick, bro. You're sick right now. He's not your guy. And you know what? He said it on Revival, too. I watched that show like 20 times because I was like, I want to make sure I get him. He's like, oh man, if he doesn't play well, he doesn't have to pot the piss in. I can't support him no more. That's exactly what Cop Pizzle said. I got his accent on. Hefe, you really get his accent. But he understands. Daniel Jones suck. He got no leg to stand on right now. He don't, man.
Yeah.
So somebody go check on Cop Pizzle. He's sick right now.
Listen, let's end on a high note here. Let's end on that. Rangers looking good. Knicks looking good in preseason. Mets and Yanks 3 wins away, and hopefully 2 wins for the Yanks after tonight. We got good things to look forward to.
Spiro, I'm gonna have to give you another call this week.
Oh, we might have to have a call. We might have to.
I don't know when I'm looking at my. I don't know when the fuck it's gonna happen, but we're gonna do it.
I like this. I like this new series, but we're gonna wait.
Give me some time. Just give me some time,
guys. We are gonna pick also a new revivalist of the month. Yes. We are. We got to do Revivalist of the Month for October. So listen out for that. If your name is called, you will get to shine on this here podcast and come chill with your brothers. Or
just a thought. Eli, you're the boss. This is up to you.
Oh, you're the boss.
What are your thoughts? I say we make Scooby Fan of the Month.
I mean,
Revivalist of the Month.
Idea. Great idea.
I just want to say this because that's exactly who I was voting for this month. Yeah. It's funny how great minds think alike. So, Scooby, I don't know if you're in the chat, but somebody's going to give us to our sister, Scooby. You are Revivalist of the Month of October, man. Round of applause for that. Round of applause, Scooby.
That's our girl. That's our girl.
We love her.
Honestly, when we see Scooby, every time we're at a game, every time we go to Fan Fest, every time we go to practice, Scooby is always there linking up with us. So, Scooby, it's only right. Come on the show. Come kick it with us. Have a good time. You are the Revivalist of the Month, man. So we'll DM you. We'll DM you. We'll call you. We got your number. We'll call you. So, what a show. Shout out Chris Carlin, man, ESPN Radio. So much to talk about. We got a lot off our chest, man. We usually do this after the show. We start talking shit, but we recorded it for you guys, man. So on behalf of my brothers, you guys know who they are, and that's Mr. Glass Half Full of Nets. Spee if you nasty.
Let's go, Nets. Let's go. Come on.
And of course, my brother El Jefe, a.k.a. White Jersey, a.k.a. Blue Jersey, a.k.a. I'm not nervous at all.
Eli watches all the sketches.
It was a fun one.
I don't miss a beat. And of course, you the Revivalist, and it's your boy Eli Rax, a.k.a. Vibes. We see you guys on the next one. Peace and blessings. Yes, sir.
Spiro, any other teams you want to shout out?
Liberty. Where we stand on that? I don't even know.
Oh God, I don't want to get back into a whole show. I thought you were do.
We're done.
Out Liberty. All right.
Shout out to Liberty.
Good night, folks. Nate Burleson. See you.
New York Revival. I'm in the building.
Let's
go.
Live with the Wolf High Blood!
Let's go.